Have you ever wondered why, even when you have nothing to do, your mind refuses to rest? Why lying in bed with no notifications, no deadlines, no one expecting anything from you feels like your thoughts have multiplied, moving faster than ever? You're not alone, and the answer isn't what you think. It's not laziness, it's not stress, and it's certainly not a flaw in your brain. What's happening is far more interesting, and understanding it could change the way you experience every quiet moment in your life. Picture this: you wake up on a day with nothing planned. The calendar is blank, your schedule is free, and yet by noon, your mind feels like a newsroom at rush hour. Thoughts appear and disappear, questions arise that don't need answers, scenarios play out that will never happen. And when you try to focus on doing absolutely nothing, it's as if your brain has a secret agenda to keep you moving mentally. You're not just thinking, you're running mental marathons with no finish line in sight. Why does this happen? Why does your mind feel busy when there's nothing to do? Most people assume a busy mind is a reflection of a busy life: deadlines, responsibilities, stress piling up. But here's the twist: even on calm days, even when there is literally nothing demanding your attention, your mind still feels restless. That's because what you're experiencing isn't busyness, it's a survival mechanism running in overdrive. Your brain evolved to keep humans alive, scanning for danger, predicting threats, and solving problems before they even appeared. Thousands of years ago, wandering thoughts or idleness could mean a predator strikes, a threat goes unnoticed, or an opportunity to hunt or gather food is missed. Alertness and constant mental activity were a matter of survival. Now, your threats are different: emails won't bite, bills won't hunt you down, but your brain hasn't caught up. It still thinks, stay alert, anticipate problems, solve everything, and so your mind never truly rests. Even in silence, it searches, it plans, it replays conversations. It predicts disasters that will never happen. It judges past mistakes that are already gone. And every time you try to slow down, it kicks into overdrive, asking, what if something goes wrong? What if I'm missing something? Here's another twist: the quieter your environment, the louder your brain feels. Ever notice that the more peaceful your surroundings, the more your thoughts seem to multiply? That's not coincidence. Silence is a signal your brain interprets as vulnerability. In the absence of external noise, your brain provides its own. Thoughts, worries, mental simulations, they flood in to fill the empty space. But there's more. Modern life amplifies this effect. From the moment you're a child, you're trained to measure worth by output: grades, achievements, recognition. Society rewards doing, producing, achieving. So when your mind finally has a blank canvas, a free day, a quiet evening, it panics. Free time doesn't feel safe. Free time becomes pressure. Every minute unplanned is a test your brain thinks you're failing. And then there's choice, the hidden stressor you rarely notice. On a busy day, your brain doesn't have to decide what to do. The day decides for you. On free days, options are infinite, and infinite choices overwhelm the mind. You think, should I learn something new, work on a project, exercise, relax? Watch a show, and with each option comes an unspoken question: what if I choose wrong? That question multiplies, creating invisible mental work that exhausts you before you've even moved. Let's talk about another subtle layer: emotional backlog. When you're busy, your brain postpones feelings: stress, sadness, disappointment, frustration, all deferred. But when the pace slows, these deferred emotions rise to the surface. They show up as restlessness, unease, guilt, or that vague pressure that you can't quite explain. It's not the day that's causing it. It's the accumulated, unprocessed emotions your brain is finally giving space to. And here's the kicker most people never realize: your brain's overactive state on calm days is not malfunctioning, it's functional. It's doing what it evolved to do. It's protecting you, preparing you, anticipating threats. But the context has changed. You don't live in a cave anymore. Your threats are different. Emails won't attack, traffic won't eat you, and the fridge won't run away. Your brain just hasn't updated yet, and until it does, mental busyness feels like an endless default mode. So next time your mind feels crowded on a free day, don't blame yourself. Don't think it's laziness or failure. It's your brain running its ancient programming, mistaking quiet for danger, stillness for risk. And the first step to mastering this isn't shutting your mind down, it's understanding why it's running in the first place. The key to calming a busy mind isn't fighting it, it's working with it. Your brain isn't your enemy. The busyness is not a flaw, it's a feature running in the wrong context. and the first step is awareness. Start noticing your thought patterns, what triggers them. Are they about unfinished tasks, imagined failures, what-ifs, or comparisons? Observing without judgment begins to shift your brain from reactive to reflective. Once you recognize the patterns, the control starts to subtly return. Here's a technique many overlook: labeling. When a thought arises, quietly name it. This is worry, this is planning, this is self-criticism. By naming it, you separate yourself from it. You're no longer trapped inside the loop, you're watching the loop. The thought becomes data, not destiny. This simple act decreases mental intensity without force or willpower. Another powerful approach is externalization. Write down your thoughts. Stream of consciousness journaling works wonders. When your brain sees that its issues are recorded outside, it relaxes. It no longer needs to run mental simulations constantly. The busy mind thrives on internal chaos, so giving it a safe external space to process can reduce the pressure. Next, consider your sensory environment. A busy mind often craves stimulation, even when it appears overactive internally. Soft music, gentle ambient sounds, or repetitive, calm activities can signal safety. It tells your brain you don't need to produce solutions right now. You're safe. Even simple rituals, making tea, folding laundry, drawing, or taking a shower, act as anchors. The rhythm gives the mind a predictable structure to settle into. Then there's physical movement. It sounds counterintuitive. How can activity calm a busy mind? But movement releases tension stored in the nervous system. Walking, stretching, yoga, even pacing in a room allows the brain to discharge overactive alertness. Your thoughts don't slow by sitting still. They settle when the body signals it's safe and contained. Sleep hygiene is another hidden factor. Busy minds often steal rest. Inadequate sleep, irregular schedules, or late-night exposure to screens primes the brain to stay alert. It doesn't know when the day ends, so it keeps running. Consistent sleep patterns, screen curfews, and dim lights communicate to your nervous system that it's time to power down. Mindfulness and meditation aren't magic tricks, but they are powerful allies. Even 5 minutes of focused breathing, noticing sensations, or observing your thoughts without attachment retrains the brain to tolerate stillness. The goal is not to empty your mind, but to change your relationship with the noise. The thoughts will come, but they no longer dictate your emotional state. Let's not forget the psychological burden of comparison. Social media has trained your brain to constantly measure itself against imagined lives. Every scroll, every highlight reel fuels the mind's busyness engine. On free days, without the distraction of tasks, the mind fills the space with imagined failures, missed opportunities, or judgments from others. Recognizing this pattern is crucial. The busyness is often socially induced, not internally necessary. Another subtle factor is perfectionism. Your mind feels busy because it's scanning for mistakes, past, present, and future. Even minor imperfections, forgotten messages, or minor choices spark loops of self-evaluation. On free days with no urgent tasks, this internal audit becomes louder because the brain has nothing else to focus on. Awareness here is transformative. Perfectionism doesn't create progress, it fuels mental activity. Now consider the modern brain's addiction to novelty. In ancient times, each stimulus mattered. Today, every ping, notification, or new image triggers the brain's reward system. Over time, the brain learns to crave stimulation, making stillness uncomfortable. When you finally sit without a screen or a book, the mind reacts as if it's deprived. It multiplies thoughts to generate its own input. Understanding this mechanism removes some of the mystery and guilt of a busy mind. So what's the practical takeaway for someone with a mind that never stops? First, stop trying to shut it off completely. That approach only creates resistance and amplifies busyness. Second, create structured stillness practices that guide the mind gently. Journaling, mindful breathing, repetitive movement, sensory cues of calm, and intentional scheduling. Third, understand the evolutionary and social origins of your busyness. The more you know why your brain behaves this way, the less power it has over you. One more secret: acceptance. Most people resist the feeling of mental busyness. I shouldn't feel this way. I should be calm. I should be productive. That resistance doubles the intensity. Instead, practice a mindset of curiosity. Observe, note, and let thoughts pass. Ah, here's worry, here's planning. Interesting, I don't need to act on it right now. Acceptance is not surrender. It's acknowledging reality and creating space for choice. Over time, these practices build a new relationship with your mind. The constant internal chatter doesn't vanish overnight, but it becomes manageable. The busy mind, once a source of tension and exhaustion, becomes an ally, alert, creative, and capable, but no longer overwhelming. Finally, remember this: a busy mind is a sign of a highly alert, intelligent system functioning correctly in the wrong context. You're not broken, you're human. You're wired to anticipate, plan, and protect. But by learning the techniques to observe, externalize, and structure stillness, you can reclaim calm, even on free days, even in silence, even when the world is quiet. The next time your mind races, don't fight it, don't panic, don't judge. Instead, ask, what is this trying to do for me? Once you shift from resistance to understanding, you unlock the secret to mental calm, clarity, and focus. Your mind doesn't have to stop, it just needs guidance. And when you guide it gently, the busyness transforms from chaos into insight, awareness, and peace. You can finally experience what you were missing all along: a calm mind that feels busy only when necessary, creative when it counts, and quiet when it should.